Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous episode 121. I'm your host Rico, here with my co-host,
Mr. Dane Cody.
Mr. Dane Cody.
Okay, could we quickly address the terrible thing that you did to our listeners last week?
Hey,
I listened to some of that, and oh man, what were you thinking?
A couple people messaged me and said it wasn't bad.
They're wrong.
Hey, you ditched me. It's your fault.
You ditched me, and I didn't do something stupid like that.
I didn't want to miss a show, and I didn't have any guests lined up, and it didn't look like we were going to record, so...
I'm just giving you a hard time. But I do apologize to all of our listeners who had to listen to that last week.
I did what I did. I tried my best. I'll get better when you miss more shows, or I kill you when I see you in a few hours.
All right, fair enough.
Welcome, everybody. Excuse me, just got a frog in my throat. We get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and or whatever the hell we like. And as Dane alluded to last week, I recorded a solo show. So, yeah, that happened.
You could just skip that one.
Yeah, you can skip that one. Or if you like really run out of content, you can listen to it. But we are back together. The dynamic duo is reunited, and
I'm Batman in that dynamic duo, by the way.
Sure, I'll be Robin. He's like flippy and flies around, does cool stuff.
Sounds good.
Does he have a hot girlfriend? In this timeline, he does. Sure, why not?
Actually, yeah, he kind of gets together with Starfire for a while. She's pretty hot.
What was I going to say? You totally derailed me. Or I derailed myself because I have the memory of a goldfish.
Yep.
Oh, we're recording.
Yeah.
This morning.
Exactly.
Very different. Before going to PAX, we were trying to figure out our schedule, and this is like didn't work last night. We're going to be getting in really late tonight. So we're just recording before we head down.
We were going to record in the car, but it was just going to be too late and it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, it was going to be late and I was going to be driving, so I wouldn't have been able to man the station, so it would have been a little probably awkward. But just works out. We're recording before we go to PAX, so all our PAX goodness, unless we manage to record something on site, which we always say and never do.
We're going to do it this year. Oh, yeah. I'm going to bring a mic. We're going to do it this year.
We'll probably do it when we come back. Are you serious bringing your mic?
Hell yeah. I'll bring my big mic.
I could always bring mine, but we only need one. Yeah. So, usually we start the show with what you've been playing, get in some news, and then our public service announcements, and sometimes our free-for-all, but we don't have anything this week. But before we get into any of that, we start with our designated drinking section.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you can't be a geekaholic without being an alcoholic, but I guess we fail because I'm pretty sure you're just drinking coffee.
Huh. Joke's on you, sucker.
What?
Dude, I'm on vacation, motherfucker.
Oh.
I got some Cedar Creek Irish cream in my coffee this morning. It is delicious.
Oh, you got alcohol in your coffee?
Oh,
shit.
Hell yeah.
I didn't even think about that. I don't think I have anything really good to put in my coffee, though.
You're a bad alcoholic.
Like we didn't already know that.
Yeah.
I'm drinking coffee. McDonald's, McCafe.
Ew, that's gross. I'm drinking Moja, possibly the greatest coffee in all of Vancouver. Actually, it is easily the greatest coffee in all of Vancouver. So if you're ever up in Vancouver, there's 2 locations, one in North Van, one on Commercial Drive. It's called Moja Coffee. Amazing. Amazing. That's where we get all of our coffee from. It's delicious. And no, they didn't pay me to say that. I am a huge fan of their coffee. They're great.
I think Vert and Ash are all over that stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've had it at their house. It is good coffee. I can attest to that.
So, there you go. That, a little, Irish cream in the morning. Perfect breakfast.
So, not sure if any of you guys are going to PAX or are going to actually listen to this before or during PAX. So, obviously, if you're there and you want to say hi, hit us up on Twitter. obviously, I'm sure we can run into each other at the show. We have a few appointments, not as busy as we normally are, but a lot of people weren't taking appointments, or a lot of my contacts have moved on. The PR world seems to be pretty tough on people, or there's a lot of changes. Because half of my contacts, like, I'd email them, and it's like, this user doesn't exist. I'm like, oh, well, I'm pretty sure they don't work there anymore.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I've kind of haven't seen our schedule yet, so there's a few that I want to add to it. Just smaller stuff that is interesting, but
to a lot of the big stuff that I want to see, which is really happy.
Yeah,
I'm happy about. There's definitely not a lot of VR stuff this year.
Well, they're doing the whole VR land idea again at the Westin.
Yeah, I just didn't get a lot of invites from anyone. Like last year, my inbox was flooded with come play this. Like, trust me, my inbox is flooded.
Oh, I was going to say, God, my inbox is a mess right now. Like, I've been so busy with work that I have not had a chance to really like go through. And I checked this morning when I got up. I'm like, man, I should really get into my inbox and look at some stuff and what's going on for PAX and see if there's any appointments that I need to make. And I had like 280 emails that are unread, and I was like, oh, that's a lot of email. Now I gotta go through and try and figure out the ass from the head and the head from the ass, and yeah. So yeah, my inbox is totally destroyed. Yeah. I'm waiting on a couple other appointments that I've been working on, but yeah, it's gonna be pretty exciting. Sweet.
I'm pretty excited. I love PAX. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's up there. I probably like it a smidge better than E3, just because of all the stuff surrounding it, and definitely the panels are really cool. But yeah, hit us up on Twitter if you're around, and obviously we'll be around.
Yeah, we're gonna be at the show every day, starting Friday, going all the way till Monday. So if you want to meet up or smack us around or tell us that we were great or that we suck, we will.
You're wrong.
We will be there. Yeah.
So, yeah, with that, I guess we can get into what you've been playing.
Yes.
And yeah, I played a lot of stuff.
Yeah, man. Like, I thought you were working this last week. Like, what the hell were you doing? Were you off work again or something?
No, I was working. I just happened to say, put the PUBG down and let the baby go.
I mean, I guess a few of these are like demos as well, right?
Yes.
That you didn't mention. At least one of them is for sure.
One's a demo, one's a beta.
/demo.
So, yeah. Well, let's start with the big one, which we mentioned last week. Uncharted Lost Legacy. I picked that up, and as a pre-order bonus, you got a free copy of Jak and Daxter, which is like upscaled. I don't want to say remastered because it's not like the Crash games or even like the Ratchet and Clank.
Oh man, if they did the Ratchet and Clank style remake on that, I think I would lose myself.
Was Jak and Daxter PS1 or PS2?
It was a PS2 game.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll get back to Uncharted. I'll talk about this because I mentioned it now. I guess it's wide. Was the PS2 widescreen? The PS2 didn't do high def, did it? No,
it didn't do high def, but it did do. I want to say it did do widescreen though, 16 by 9.
I can't remember. So this game will like burn your retinas with all the bright colors in it.
I love it. It's so happy and like it's so good.
It's super vivid.
Yes,
and it looks pretty good. Obviously, it's got the same. I want to say it has the same old textures, but maybe they did. I don't think they did anything besides get the engine up and running properly on a PS4. It's Jak and Daxter. It's old school
platforming
Naughty Dog game.
Hell yeah!
I beat that game back in the day. I think I was running the video game store when it originally came out. I'm pretty sure I was.
This game is so good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I don't know how well it holds up, but like it was one of my favorite platforming games, honestly. Like I know a lot of people have that kind of an affinity for... And don't get me wrong, I think that Mario 64 is amazing. It is one of the best games, especially a 3D platforming game. But I want to say, and like obviously this is a generation newer than that game was.
Yeah.
But honestly, as far as 3D platformers go, at least in my memory, that is probably the greatest 3D platformer that I can think of. Because I feel like after that, nobody really did them like that anymore. Like, a lot of people kind of walked away from the 3D platformers, and...
Yeah, there was a period where platformers, like, pretty much died.
And then they started adding, like, shooting and guns, and it didn't have that same sort of... And even the second one of these, they went dark and gritty, and Jack's got a gun, and it's... I don't know, like, that's something I like about the original Jak and Daxter is... Yeah,
the original is very different than the sequels.
It's so vivid, and like you said, it's bright, and it's happy, and, like, there's a sort of a bad thing that's happening, with, like, the dark goo or whatever the heck it was called.
The Dark Echo.
Yeah. But, like, the game, I don't know, like, the levels were designed super well, there was lots of, like, cool things that you can do, places that you could go, like, the level design was great, the character design was great. Yeah, I just, honestly, I think it was honestly one of the best 3D platformer games ever made, and it's sad because I felt like the sequels were too much like Ratchet and Clank, and I love Ratchet and Clank, those are great games, but they're not what I wanted out of a second Jak and Daxter.
No, the first game, yeah, like you said, it's very reminiscent of a Mario 64. Obviously a little advanced because it's a generation or so, or a couple years newer. It's a collectathon. Holy crap, I forgot how much shit there was to collect in that game.
It's great.
Spoiler alert, this game's from 2001, so if you don't want to know anything, I'm going to say something's a huge spoiler potentially.
Okay.
Daxter was a freaking human, or an elf, before he got turned into that little creature. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, dude. He kind of gets the short end of that stick.
Because I don't know how 3... I know I beat 2. I never beat 3, because 3 was like the full like open world one, right?
3 was kind of weird. It was like they tried to do almost like a Grand Theft Jak and Daxter. It was, I don't know, I really didn't like 3 much at all.
Yeah, I never beat it, so I don't know if he ever turned back, but he definitely didn't turn back in 2.
But honestly, the second like that second game for me was such a huge disappointment. I didn't like where they went. The gameplay completely changed. I don't know.
They went, like you said, they went total Ratchet and Clank. So yeah, it runs. It's super vivid. It's quite obviously looks pretty dated. It's too bad it wasn't a full. I don't think this game will ever get a proper remaster, but it was a nice little bonus I wasn't expecting. I'm like, oh, I get a free game?
Hell, cool. Man, I would go as far as to almost buy that again, just to send the message like, hey, fuckers, remake this like they did the Ratchet and Clank so that I can enjoy it again.
I think you can. I think it's on the store.
I'm going to check.
Yeah, wow. I'm looking at the designers here for Jak and Daxter. The names Amy Henning, Mark Cerny,
dude,
Evan Wells. Like, those are
names. No wonder that game was so good.
It is early, obviously. Amy Henning was a huge force at Naughty Dog in the coming years with the Uncharted. Mark Cerny obviously has moved on.
Yeah,
I think Evan Wells is still writing at Naughty Dog.
Mark Cerny is the engineer of the PS4.
Yeah, I know. That's just crazy.
He created, or he was essentially the guy that, said like, look, this is what we need. This is the horsepower we want. And went out and did it.
Goes to show the pedigree of employees Naughty Dog had. Like, that's pretty crazy. So, yeah. Would I recommend you run out and get it if you aren't Dane? I don't know. If you're looking for a classic platformer, it is that, and it is excellent at that. But obviously, it's pretty dated visually.
Yeah, that was what I was saying. I don't know. You got to remember, I haven't played this game in absolutely years. But I don't know if it's aged well or not. But if it has,
it seemed all right. Like, it just played fine. It's just the visuals are just, the polygons are very they're very flat. Like there's no texture, right?
Yeah.
Like, well, not to the detail of games today. So it doesn't look bad by any means. It looks fine, but
that's the thing that I gotta say about like the PlayStation 1 and PS2 era is that those games visually have not aged well at all. And that's sad because I think there's some great games, but it is honestly hard to go back and play some of those games now. Gameplay wise, like you said, still pretty solid, but man, some of those games, it's like I want to go back and play them, but it is way easier in a lot of ways to go back and play Super Nintendo Genesis games than it is to go back and play some PlayStation 1 games.
Like 2D, you mean like 2D, right?
Totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the 3D games definitely have a harder time holding up.
Yeah, and it is from a visual perspective. Some of them just don't age good at all.
So I think I played up until the point where it like opens up and you're like kind of like in the hub sort of area of the game. I don't know if I'm going to go back or not because considering everything coming out, I just kind of did it like oh yeah, I remember this. Ah, yeah.
Little nostalgia piece. For sure.
It was just a little nostalgia trip. So that was a nice little bonus. So after I did it's funny. I did that before I actually played Uncharted, which was kind of strange. I'm like, oh, cool.
Oh, why not?
But yeah, I played some Uncharted Lost Legacy. Chloe and Nadine on a little adventure.
I hear good things. Man. I hear Chloe's a badass, and I hear that game is really solid.
It's a Uncharted game. You've heard me say these kind of comparisons before, but if you like Uncharted, you're obviously definitely going to like this game. It's pretty impressive. I see why it isn't DLC as it originally was expected to be. It is a whole game in itself.
Yeah.
It's really cool that they've taken some other characters in this obviously cool universe that they've created and doing a whole like side adventure, which
does this feel like a game that they were was maybe like a side story within Uncharted 4 and they decided it was just too big and they decided to pull it out on its own? No,
it's not even related.
Okay.
Different place, completely different.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's super cool. I'm really excited. I barely had a chance, like I said, to like sit down in front of much of anything this week, but that is going to be a definite pickup for me. I love
$40.
Yeah, in the US, I don't know what that reverts to in Canada, but I know it was $39.99 American.
I definitely got it for $39 because I pre-ordered it.
Right. Did you pre-order the physical copy?
Yeah, I got the physical copy from Amazon, so it got the 20%.
Okay, right.
So I think so I paid $39, so it must be, it's $49.
Yeah.
So it's $40 American, $50 Canadian. If you are looking for some Uncharted, I know Uncharted 4 just came out last year.
Yeah. So
some people might not be hungry for that after the amazing experience it was Uncharted 4.
Hey man, like I said, I'm excited to go back and play some Uncharted. And you know what? I think it's cool that they're leaving the Nathan Drake story closed.
Yeah, it's done.
Like that. I like that they've done that and they're sticking with it. I like the idea of some of these side characters that they have that are really strong. Like, I've always thought that some of these side characters, in this case, like, they went off and did Chloe, made a game with Chloe, and I felt like she was a really strong character to begin with.
Oh, absolutely.
And to see her getting a game, and you're playing with her, and is it Nadine?
Yeah, Nadine.
Right.
So it's it's a game with two leading females. Like, how often does that happen? Like, never.
Right.
So,
and I thought that both of those characters were really strong, and I kind of wanted to know more about them. So it's super cool to see this happening for them, and I like that. I don't know if we'll see more sort of side stuff from Naughty Dog as far as in the Uncharted universe.
I'm pretty sure we will.
I'd be down.
Yeah. Playing this game, like, what is there to be said? It's Uncharted. It looks like Uncharted 4. It's unreal. It's got
gorgeous.
HDR.
You're playing it on the Pro, so it's
I'm playing it on the Pro
and everything else, right?
It's a gorgeous game. The storytelling is top notch. It's Naughty Dog. The acting is, on par with, your best Hollywood movies. It's
right.
These guys know how to make amazing storytelling based games. I welcome it. I'm really happy with it so far. I haven't played like tons.
Well, I heard it's a little shorter than Uncharted 4.
I think it's like, people have said around 12 hours. I think I'm 2 hours in.
I was hearing 8 to 10. So if you really lollygagged, I could see it taking maybe 12 or 14. Or if you suck like me, it'll probably take that long.
I like to lollygag.
Yeah, especially in games that are that pretty. I've actually heard of. I was listening to somebody another podcast that I listened to, and they were saying that you almost get visual fatigue because it's so pretty so often that you like the first time you're like, oh my god, look at how pretty this game is, it's gorgeous. And then 30 seconds later, the scenery changes, and you're like, oh my god, look at how good this game is, it's so gorgeous. And every 5 minutes, that kind of happens, that you almost don't even realize it after a while. It's...
Well, Chloe has her cell phone is funny, Sony branded cell phone, of course, so you'll like that.
Hell yeah.
And you can take photos.
Oh, that's cool.
I guess that's part of the, above and beyond the treasures, there's like these photo spots throughout the game.
Right.
Which is really neat, and just kind of like to what you were saying, how gorgeous the game is. It's like, yeah, our game's so gorgeous. Here, take a photo. We know you're staring at it already. So here, let's make like a little, another trophy you're gonna chase down.
Oh, totally.
I'm excited to get back. Obviously, schedule's been super crazy, but man, if you were sleeping on it, because it kind of like snuck out there, I totally forgot about it. It's definitely worth a pickup. Absolutely.
Yeah, like I said, it's a guarantee for me that I'll definitely be picking it up. I just haven't had a chance yet.
I don't know,
but it's going to be on my list to definitely buy.
I imagine it'll probably go on sale if you're not don't have to pick it up today, but just put it on your to-do list.
I know I won't be able to wait for it to go on sale later. I know I'll want to play it in the next little while. Especially, like, the thing is for me is that I know, talking to other people and stuff, that it's not a super long game, which for me works really well because I can sit down and play it over 3 or 4 settings or even 5 or 6 sittings and get through it and enjoy the crap out of it, but then be done with it and move on to one of the other million open world 150-hour fucking games that are out right now.
It also has the whole like multiplayer from Uncharted 4 too, so it does have that component as well. I never got into the Uncharted multiplayer, but I know a lot of people do like it. So it does have that as well. So it's not just a tiny campaign; it's got the multiplayer as well. So
yeah, I can't do the mouse with. I just can't do the controller multiplayer for me. It drives me crazy.
Let's be honest, that the shooting in Uncharted isn't its strong suit.
No,
I've never had a problem with it, but people, if anyone has anything to complain about Uncharted is the shooting.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of understand it. Like it's weird because it's
loose.
Yeah, there's a weirdness to it that I understand when people are like, yeah, the shooting in that game sucks. And I'm like, I don't know if I say that it sucks necessarily, but it's definitely not. I don't know. It's weird because it's. I mean, when we distill it right down, it's a similar type of game to Gears of War or something, where it's a kind of a cover-based shooter, but Gears has a real such a I don't know. The shooting feels so good. Like the guns have impact in it. I don't know. Whereas Uncharted, it's like there's something missing in the shooting part. That being said, given, if I only could choose one of those two experiences, I would probably choose an Uncharted game personally, but, yeah, I still think they're solid, but they could definitely use some work in the shooting area. How's that? So,
I played that. I played Jack and Daxter. Man, we're not even halfway through all the stuff I played.
I know.
I also jumped in the Call of Duty World War II beta.
I didn't even know this was happening. Was that happening on PS4?
Yeah, it was happening last weekend, and I think it's happening again this weekend.
Okay.
I don't know if it was it's only PS4, I believe. I don't know if it's closed.
Okay.
I pre-ordered the game because I think I got a price error on it on PS4. Obviously, if I do end up playing it, it'll probably be PC. But
right.
I got a token or code or whatever, so I went and downloaded it and I'll check this out. Man, that game looks great and runs really well.
Yeah.
And it's a super throwback to... I felt like I was playing Modern Warfare 2 with a World War II skin. It felt really good.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Like, it felt like the old Call of Duties that you put tons of, hundreds of hours into. Except for with the World War II skin. Because
over it?
There's no double jumping, there's no wall running, but the scale and feel of the arenas and the combat felt really tight and quick. It's running at 60 FPS, which makes me roll my eyes a bit as to why Destiny can't run at 60 FPS on the console. Because this game looks really, really good. The graphics are fantastic. There's no loss of fidelity as to make up for that, to get the high frame rate. So it just makes me question, obviously maybe the scale of the maps, there's more to it obviously than that, but it's just just makes me a little disappointed that Destiny on 2 isn't 60 FPS when this one clearly is. Then again, I don't know what the campaign is. Maybe the campaign's only 30 because it is the multiplayer component.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Ultimately I know that one of the head designers of Destiny came out this week and sort of addressed the 60 versus 30 and stuff, and he pretty much just said, look, there was visual fidelity that we wanted, and in order to keep that across all the platforms, we had to go down to 30, and he doesn't feel that it essentially is a huge problem, because his theory is that you pay $300 or even $400 for a console, and you want sort of the best experience tailored for that. His whole thing is if you have the endless amounts of money to buy 1080s and $1,000 processors on your PC, then hell yeah, by all means, you can run it at whatever frame rate you want, and that's your prerogative because you've essentially spent $1,500 on your computer. And that was more or less kind of what he said. They wanted to make sure that it was super fluid and locked at essentially 30 and getting the best visual experience that they could. And that's kind of that. And I think he didn't directly address why, the Pro and the Xbox One X aren't going to run above that.
I feel like it's because the Pro... to be honest, I feel like it's because the Pro can't do it, so they don't want the Xbox to do it.
Probably, and their marketing is...
The Xbox One X, because the existing Xbox clearly can't do it, but I'm pretty sure the Xbox One X could run Destiny 2 at 60 frames per second.
Probably. Yeah.
I think so, easily.
Yeah.
Because people are saying on PC it's running really well for them.
We'll get there. I've been very surprised.
Yeah. So back to Call of Duty. I played maybe 3 matches. It's they've got what do they call it? Class. It's like your base class system. I don't know if they call it that because I just wanted to jump in. I wasn't paying a lot of attention, but you can be like a Canadian sniper or the Air Force or the infantry, and that determine your loadouts and your abilities as well.
Okay.
So I just went with, and they said that this is for average players, this is for new players, this is for, veteran players, the different classes, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I just played with the base infantry class.
Right.
I did pretty well. I was, middle of the pack. I died a lot, but it was just that I just got that throwback vibe of Modern Warfare 2. felt good. We were playing, I don't know if they call it domination, but it was basically domination. You know, the 3 points on the map, go A, B, and C,
run
going back and forth.
Wait, hold on.
And I liked it. This game, honestly, was not on my radar. I was kind of like, World War II, and this like Call of Duty multiplayer. Like I played literally no multiplayer. The last Call of Duty multiplayer I played was, I think, Modern Warfare 3, and that didn't last very long because we had just fizzled out on it.
Yeah. And
I never got into any of the new ones because, to be honest, Titanfall 2's multiplayer destroyed any of the other jumpy shooty Call of Duty ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
So I never got into the other ones because I'm like, this multiplayer over here is just better.
Mm-hmm.
Or I like it. For me, I liked it better. So I never got into Infinite Warfare or any of the Black Ops shit. But,
right.
This one just kind of feels like a nice throwback. I mean, I enjoyed it. I did well. It felt super fluid and fast, and it was fun. It just reminded me of the old school fun we had playing Modern Warfare 2.
Right.
So most likely, this is the problem though. This comes out, and then we got Destiny on PC. It's just like I like what I play, but I just don't know if I'm actually going to have time for it. So I might just play the campaign on that price error copy that I got for PS4. Because let's be honest, am I really going to have? Are any of my other friends going to buy it? I don't know. I know my brother-in-law. I think he saw some footage of the multiplayer, and he's like, "Oh, that reminds me of my favorite time of Call of Duty." So he was thinking about getting it. So I don't know. We'll see.
You're right.
I was pretty impressed, though. It's just for me personally. I think time-wise, this fall, winter, like, let's be honest, I'm pretty sure most of my PC time is going to be going towards Destiny 2.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be hard to. Yeah. It's definitely going to be a lot of time putting in there, for sure. Yeah, I played that. That was a nice surprise. I played some Knack 2. There's a demo on PSN. Yeah, I just saw Nick talking about that yesterday. I haven't had a chance to download it or play it yet.
It seemed pretty combat heavy.
I heard that it's a lot of fun, especially if you play co-op.
I didn't play the co-op, so I don't know if the co-op's a different section or the same section.
Okay.
It was fine. It's definitely Knack. I think it aims for a younger demographic to begin with.
Right.
So I don't necessarily think it's for me. It was definitely competent. The combat was fine. It kind of felt God of War-ish.
Oh, okay.
With your right stick dodges, you have a block. There's combos, like a punch combo and a kick combo, and you can vary it up with holding the buttons down.
Right.
Cause different attacks. You can jump and slam down, do different attacks with the different with punch or kick. It was fine. I wasn't like blown away, like, oh my god, I got to pick this game up.
Right.
Because I don't know if it was just too short or just too much of the same that I didn't. It was basically it was a challenge. You're going down these hallways, guys are spawning in, you're beating them up, punch, punch, move on to the next thing, punch, punch, move on to the next thing. So it wasn't like the most exciting slice. So I don't remember that. I don't know if that was the same part they had at E3. I can't remember, honestly, because I didn't play it at E3. I just saw it like over people's shoulders. It looks good.
Yeah, I've heard it's very pretty.
But yeah, so you can check that out for yourselves.
I'm super curious.
It was fine. Maybe I'll have to check out the co-op because maybe this is where this game shines. But again, all games are better with co-op. So
yeah, like I said, I've heard good things about the co-op.
I know it's going to be at PAX, so
yep.
If it's the same demo at PAX, I'll let you know, and then you can save your time waiting in a lineup because you'll just be able to play it at home. If not later today, you probably could download it right now.
I'm pretty much as soon as we're done the podcast, I'll throw it on because I've got nothing else to do today.
So that's more of a PSA. Check it out.
Yeah, it's out there.
I think it comes out, in September, in a couple weeks?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Now, you... talking about VR a couple weeks ago made me reconnect and reconfigure my whole setup.
Yeah.
So I got it all connected. Actually, it wasn't just you, though. I had some buddies over for the McGregor Mayweather fight on the weekend.
Oh, you watched that? I'm sorry. That's a whole other thing. We won't get into that. Anyways, carry on. Good.
And I got it for free, so
carry on.
Legitimately. I didn't.
Yeah, no, I know.
Anyway, my buddies wanted to play VR. My one buddy, Darren, had never played VR. And I'm like, okay, I got the perfect thing for you. Here's the Star Wars VR mission on Battlefront.
Yeah.
His fucking mind was blown. He's like, oh my God. He's like, is there a full game? And I'm like, no, that's the only thing that sucks about this. He's like, oh man. He's like, if there was a whole game of this, I'd go to the store right now and buy it.
Wow.
Yeah. And my buddy Ryan played it too. But Ryan's played VR, so he was less blown away, but they both loved it. They were like, that was fucking awesome.
Right.
They both came away saying that's probably the best thing they've ever played.
See, and that's interesting. So it's funny that you mentioned this because I had some people on the weekend that were over, they were staying at my house, some relatives that were from out of town, and my cousin actually, and he was like, oh man, I see you got VR. And he was like, oh, we should try some VR. I was like, yeah, cool. And it didn't actually end up happening just because like we went out for dinner and the time just didn't really work out. But it was funny because when he said like, oh man, I want to try some VR. Of course, the first thing that I did in my head was to start trying to think of like, okay, what should I show you now? You know, like what's the best thing to show you for VR? You know, obviously there's demo discs that are a bunch of stuff. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't even think of the freaking Battlefront 2 VR thing or Battlefront 1 VR. That's probably what I should have went to, though. So
yeah, they were blown away.
Assuming they're Star Wars fans, I guess.
And it reminded me of how freaking awesome that freaking demo is. And it also reminded me of, I'm pretty sure you're aware, but in Battlefront 2, all the space battle stuff is made by the guys who is made by Criterion.
Right.
So that is pretty awesome for that, at least. Not in VR, unfortunately, but all the space battle stuff is done by the guys who did the VR mission, which is pretty cool.
I know we've said this before, but if EA is listening, which I know they're not,
God damn it.
Why the hell haven't they put into production a freaking Rogue Squadron for VR? Or at least something similar to that, because you know what? It's easily one of the coolest and best things I've ever played in VR, and it's this little taste, and it makes you just go, if they release a game like that, I will buy it. No questions asked, just like shut up and take my money style.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure they've heard that, because we're not the only ones who said it, and I'm pretty sure if that is a thing, it takes a couple of years. It's probably like a E3 next year announcement. Because it hasn't even... It came out in December last year, so that came out 8 months ago now.
Yeah, I guess.
So, who knows? That's maybe a next year thing. Hopefully. Oh, God, I pray to God. That would be amazing. So, I got my VR hooked up, and I got a VR game provided to me from our wonderful friends, Evolve PR. I got Super Hot VR.
Oh, nice, for the PSVR.
PSVR. And
I've heard such good things about that game.
I already talked about Super Hot. Was that earlier this year?
Yep.
Yeah, that game's freaking awesome. And I already said that on PC. It's awesome. Oh my God, this game is amazing in VR.
Yeah, so it's like
if you own a PlayStation VR, it is freaking awesome.
So that's the new, this is what you should show people in VR?
Yeah, I don't remember how I explained Super Hot before, but they're like little, how do you explain it? Feels like you're in the holodeck, flat textures, 3D, and basically these red enemies are rushing you to either physically fight you, stab you, or shoot you, and you're dropped into rooms, rooftops, and it's all very low detail, but it feels like you're in the Matrix, like in that white gun room, you know, when he takes the pill and all the guns come flying across.
Yep.
It feels like you're in a void like that, but it's also alleyways or office buildings and stuff with this flat white texture effect, and these enemies are basically trying to kill you, but time only moves when you move.
Right. So you can kind of slow down time just by standing still.
Yeah, well, yeah, essentially it slows to a crawl, right? As long as you don't move. Same premise in the VR game, except for now you have the 2 move controllers in your hands, and you have your 2 hands.
Right.
It is a little different in that the PC version is like a first-person shooter with that same concept.
Okay.
And you can move around mouse and keyboard, but with the VR version, you don't move.
Okay.
You're dropped in the middle of these scenarios, and then you have to basically figure out how to proceed or, take down the enemies depending on what's happening. So,
right.
I think the very first mission just has a guy rushing at you, and you punch him, and they like shatter like glass. And then another one comes, and you punch him, and another guy comes, and you punch him, and it's kind of like training. And then the next level, it's like, oh, there's a gun on the ground in front of you. Well, you pick up the gun, and you start shooting guys.
Right.
But at the same time, at this point, it starts layering like more and more stuff. Okay, 2 guys are coming at you with knives, 1 guy's shooting you from a distance. So you kind of got to prioritize which targets you take out and how you take them out. Just like a VR shooting game, you can aim down the sight holding your arms out. Feels really natural. And as you're shooting the guy, you can dodge his bullets, like full Matrix time. And there's actually there's a Matrix reference trophy the first time you kind of do the slow motion dodge on one of the bullets coming at you, which is hilarious.
Nice. That's awesome.
It feels so good. Like you can even, it's so funny because since it's in slow motion, you can literally like step around and look at bullets as they fly past you. It's really funny. You can hold up a knife and slice bullets, and they'll like slice in half.
Oh, wow.
Which is really cool because you can't do that. For whatever reason, I think you could block bullets and stuff with swords and do that in the regular PC version, but it felt riskier. Whereas in this, you can absolutely tell where your sword or knife or weapon is or item you're using to block bullets is.
Right.
So it works
VR.
really well. And it gets progressively harder and harder, right? It's kind of setting you up. Usually I think the stages are, I don't know if they're a set number of, like environments and then the whole stage is done. I can't remember if it's like 3 or 4 and then that's the whole stage. Little drops you in a room, 3 or 4 enemies, another one, and they progress and get more enemies or harder or more weapons and whatnot.
Right.
They might get longer and longer. The one complaint I have is if you fail, you got to go all the way back and do the first one. But they're quick, so it's not too bad. But there was one that was, the last section was really tough.
Oh, okay.
And now I didn't have, I'll be honest, it might have been tough because it was my fault. I didn't have my camera. Like, I just set it all up. I don't have my camera on top of the TV. I had it down low. I think maybe it was having problems recognizing the wands once in a while.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was just my camera placement. I'm not going to say it was the game because I know I just set it all up and I didn't reconfigure it. So it's probably my fault. So once in a while I would lose the tracking of my hands and that would like basically bite me in the ass.
Right.
But that was only a couple times. For the most part, it was really good. And it just feels so cool. You feel like a freaking James Bond. Like, it's basically you dropped in a room. It's like, ninja star, that guy. Oh, he died and now his gun's flying in the air towards you. You reach out, you catch his gun midair. You turn to the left, you shoot those 2 guys. Right. And then you throw the empty gun at the other guy who's running at you. And he has a shotgun. Now his shotgun is like flying towards you. You grab the shotgun, you shoot the other guy come rushing you from directly ahead. It feels so awesome. It's like basically slow motion.
So you feel
action.
Like a total badass.
Yeah, it's basically slow motion John Wick combat scenes. Yeah. Essentially, is like how I would explain it. And
is this a full price game on PSN? Do you know? Or
no, I want to say it's around $20.
That might be worth an easy purchase.
Oh, absolutely. It is so much. I couldn't stop playing it. It was like 12 o'clock. I'm like, shit, I gotta go to bed. And I think I played like for a good 2 hours and I didn't want to stop. And then I looked at the time like, oh crap, I gotta go to bed. It's $25 US. That's on Steam. I have to look on PSN. It's awesome. It's honestly, it's after actually, I think it's past Batman on my list of wicked things to do on PSVR, and it's right up there with the Star Wars thing, except for this is a whole game. And
yeah. Like, have you played through all the way now, or?
No, I haven't beaten it.
Okay.
I don't know how many stages there are.
I was going to ask, like, how long is it? Because I'm just kind of curious. You know what I mean?
I think I played 4 or 5 stages. I don't know. It's $25 American, so I'm going to guess it's closer to 30 Canadian.
Okay.
And there's a bundle for a bundle for $40, which is both games, the original Superhot and the VR.
Oh, okay.
I wholeheartedly recommend this game. It feels so good, especially with the Move controllers. It feels so freaking cool. Like I said, describing, and there's no one right way to play a level. Like there'll be a bottle lying on the ground and you throw a bottle at a guy and then his weapon comes. Because you don't move. The PC game did this too. When you kill enemies, their weapons usually like fly up in the air.
Okay.
But there's more of most enemies in this version kind of come towards you. So when you kill them, their weapons kind of like naturally fly towards you.
Right.
But it's so freaking cool when you grab a gun in the air and shoot a guy and then you throw a bottle at another guy with your other hand. When it works, it works. Like I said, the tracking fucked up once in a while, but I'm going to say that's my fault. But for the most part, I'd say it worked 90% of the time. And because it was such a good experience, when it screwed up, it wasn't enough to detract from how much fun I was having with it. Yeah, it's a cool fucking game.
That's wicked, man. I might have to. I mean, I'm always looking for new and exciting things, obviously, to play on VR.
It's a really cool VR thing,
especially. My big thing that I'm looking for now isn't so much the experiences anymore, because I feel like we've played a ton of those
it's an actual game. That's the difference.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking for now.
There's gameplay. You know,
that's the stuff that I'm super excited about, that I want to see more of, is real games in VR.
Yeah, they did a really good job of transitioning. Like, I came off pretty high on the original VR, Superhot. So they did an excellent job of bringing this to VR. So
yeah,
if you got, I imagine the ultimate way of playing this would be on the Oculus or the Vive.
Yeah,
because of course their controllers have a little higher level of fidelity that they probably never lose that tracking.
Well, also you'd be running into the what's it called? You also have the room scale, so it might work a little better in that regard too, right?
Yeah, they're just their presence is a little more higher fidelity on those systems. But yeah, it's on PC as well. So obviously, if you've got an Oculus or a Vive, you're lucky enough to have one of those. Definitely check it out there, because as impressive as it is on PlayStation VR, I'm sure it's even more so on those systems.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and then the last thing I played, Jesus Christ, I played a lot of games. It was obviously the Destiny 2 beta PC beta is going on right now.
All right, so this is what I played. Because last week I had to work out of town, so I was off for like half the week, and then I was out most of the weekend. And then when I did get back, I had family that came over and stayed with me, so I didn't have a time to play pretty much anything last weekend. But, sorry, this week I did pre-download the Destiny 2 beta. I was a little bit disappointed because it was essentially the same beta that was on PlayStation 4. But that being said, Destiny with a mouse and keyboard running at almost 100 frames a second or higher is glorious.
Yeah.
Like, so much better. I know that you're all gung-ho, you're going to play the PS4 version next week when it comes out.
I can't wait till the end of October.
I don't know, now that I've played it on PC with proper mouse and keyboard and the controls and the look with above 60, I don't know if I could play it on the PS4 again. like it. Oh man, it was like I walked away from the Destiny 2 beta on PS4, kind of like it's Destiny. It's a lot more Destiny. It's kind of and then I played it on my PC, and I was like, fuck yeah, I want more of this.
Yeah.
Whoa, I want so much more of this. Why is this beta so small? It's essentially the same opening segment that they showed before. And then there's one strike that they stuck in the game. And then there's a couple of multiplayer modes. And I haven't played any of the multiplayer. I did do the strike, and I did do the mission, because as soon as you start a character, you start a mission. I played on the PS4. I played the Warlock. So what? Yeah. Sorry, there's the Warlock, the Titan. What's the third one again?
And the Hunter.
Hunter. Sorry, I played the Warlock on the PS4 beta. So this one I played the Hunter, because I hadn't played that one yet. I played a Titan on the PS4 in the original Destiny, so I felt a little bit more like I knew what that was all about. So I figured I'd play the other two classes and just get a feel for what they're like. But man, playing with honestly, it's for me, it's the mouse and keyboard makes all the difference. It is so many moments in Destiny where I feel like I'm getting hung up on stuff, or there's just dudes coming at me from all over the place.
Yeah,
and you can't
deal with them fast enough with the controller.
And man, on the mouse and keyboard, nothing like that happened. It was so awesome. I played the strike. I didn't go down once. Cruised through it. The team that I was with, the other two guys went down a few times. I managed to revive them and keep it going.
The strike's definitely not easy. It's a little challenging, but to be honest, I think it's harder on the console.
Oh, it's way harder with a controller on the console. I didn't play with a controller on the PC because I'm not like that. But man, with a mouse and keyboard, it was so good. I absolutely wow. And also, I can't believe how good the game runs. Like, I'm running on a little bit older hardware now. I've said this on the show before. i7 2600, slightly overclocked, and AMD 290X 4 gig card is what I'm running on mine with 16 gigs of RAM. And this game, I set a bunch of stuff. I'm running also 1920 by 1080, but 1200. Sorry, 19. So it's B1920 by 1200 is the resolution I'm playing on my main monitor. So slightly taller than a regular 1080p. But game runs butter smooth. Like, if the final game with full huge levels and everything else runs as well as this does, I will be so happy. Cause I was averaging, I initially had it frame locked at 60 and it never dropped below that. And then I started like jacking some of the settings up, adding more, anti-aliasing, jacking up the anisotropic filtering, putting some stuff on high and highest and things like that. And I was finally able to sort of get it to drop once or twice into like 57 frames or something. Then I uncapped it, and almost all my frame rate was like well above 100 all the time. So I was really happy about that as well, because I was a little bit concerned when I saw the recommended specs for this game, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, you mentioned that a couple weeks ago. You're like, I don't know if my PC is going to cut it.
Like, damn, maybe I should start putting money aside for a new PC sooner than I thought. But honestly, like, I was super happy with how it ran. It was buttery smooth, and it looked so good.
I told you.
Yeah, no.
I told you at E3. I didn't get to play it at E3 on PC. I played it on PS4.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I said that.
Yeah,
but from what I could tell, just from watching the PC version, I was like, holy shit. And
yeah,
that's
having
exactly
that unlocked frame rate, man. Like, it's so buttery smooth compared to the PS4 version. Like, I think it's wrecked me now. I honestly, I don't think I could play it on. I don't think I can play it on consoles now. I don't.
Yeah, I'm such a Destiny freak that I'm going to be able to still, but it is so amazing on PC that it, like, even just the level of detail is much higher. There's more particles. There's more effects. Like when you shoot enemies, there's way more shit flying off of them on the PC. Like everything, the explosions, there's just
the lighting effects are insane.
There's an extra level of detail that, because you have these obviously these super dedicated high-end video cards that have all this extra processing power, compared to the existing systems. That's like, okay, it looked awesome on PS4 Pro, but man, on PC, you can tell.
Oh yeah.
And the PS4 version looks freaking awesome to begin with. Like, let's be honest, it looks amazing. Remember, I was saying the fidelity of it on my Pro looked like a PC game, except for it was running at 30 frames a second.
Right.
But now actually playing the PC game with all the even extra stuff it has is like, holy shit, it is the ultimate version. No question of that.
Well, plus you have a 1080, so you're playing it at a high resolution and
really
like everything.
And I'm playing ultra wide as well, which is really cool because this game supports ultra wide. So I also have that extra added, field of view because of the ultra wide monitor. And I'm like, wow, this is, it's so good. So good.
Yeah. I
wish, I'm so choked that it's not coming out next week.
Honestly, if you're a PC gamer and you've kind of been hearing about some Destiny and you've kind of heard mediating things about it and you're kind of, well, whatever. Honestly, go play the beta. It's free right now. Go download it. I think it's only free for the remainder of the day. Maybe they'll extend it. I'm surprised they're not extending it into the weekend. That to me seemed super weird. That it's only during the week. I'm hoping that they extend it maybe into the weekend. I don't know.
I haven't seen anything yet. They are at PAX.
Yeah.
So maybe they don't have it extended because, I don't know, they're not around to man the helm back home. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either. But honestly, if you get a chance, give it a shot. Give it a look because it's, oh man, on PC, that is the way that game was supposed to be played. I'm a little bit bummed now that I can't play through Destiny 1 on the PC as well.
Yeah.
Because I've always said if I could have bought it on the PC, I would have bought it a second time on the PC and played through it.
I know. I played
no problem.
The funny thing is I played so much Destiny, but I didn't really play it with anyone. There was a portion where Darren played it a bunch with me, but for the most part, I played most of it with like people on the internet. Like I joined a few clans and I made some friends, people that are like in the States, but they're not people I really know. But I played the majority of it by myself, like not with my real friends. So the nice thing is a lot of my friends are going to be buying it on PC. So I'm actually going to have my buddies to play with, which is pretty sweet.
We played a little bit once or twice. I played with my brother a few times. And it's definitely, I'm looking forward to it being on PC because I know that I've got a lot more people that play PC games. And like you said, I'll be able to get essentially a crew together and play it more. Or at least there'll be a greater chance that when I'm online playing that people will
actually
be on.
know we're going to be on.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty excited. The PC version is the fucking shit. I played yesterday. They had the social space open for a couple hours.
Right. I was bummed out because I missed that.
Yeah, you would have been in traffic coming home from work. Yeah, I managed to jump in for about half an hour.
And
it's pretty. There's no vendors or anything, so you're basically just roaming around an open space. They did have the soccer ball and the soccer pitch was functioning. So,
oh, that's cool.
I may have partook in some Destiny 2 soccer shenanigans, which is kind of funny. They even have goals and like a goal effect when you score, fireworks go off and stuff.
Oh, nice.
That was kind of fun. I did that for a bit and people were climbing all over the environment trying to get into places where they shouldn't.
Of course. It's a beta, man. That's the whole point. You're trying to break everything, right?
It seems nice. The frame rate, that being a more open space with lots of people in it, because I don't know how many people they limit to, but I think there was probably at least 20 or something people in there.
Okay.
It dipped a couple times, but when I unlocked everything, my card was going as high as 200 frames a second. It topped out at 200, which was weird.
No, there might be a top ceiling somewhere.
Yeah, so on the frame counter, I never saw it go over 200, but it would sit there. So it's weird. It's kind of funny because theoretically, your frame rates can't exceed the refresh rate of your monitor. So it's, that's always a funny thing.
That's why you end up with screen tearing, right?
So anyway, I just decided to have it locked at 60 and it never dipped, and I'm playing it ultra wide. I'm gonna try and play it on 4K on my TV because it supports HDR as well, just to see what that looked like. But I don't know, I was having issues plugging in my HDMI cable last night, and I don't know what was going on. I wasn't getting a picture on my TV though. My computer was detecting the TV because I want to see what it runs at 4K, which I'm sure my card should handle it. It's not ultra wide to 4K is barely that, not that much of a difference in terms of resolution bump. So, but yeah, fuck. God damn it. Sucks that it's coming out October. I'm super pumped that I'm going to get to play Destiny next week, but I'm also super sad that I'm not going to be playing on PC next week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. By the time this comes out, I doubt anyone will have time to listen to it and download it and play it by tonight, so it might be over. So here's hoping they extend it.
I would like that. Not that I'm gonna have an opportunity to play anymore, really, besides today, but still, I would like more people that were kind of curious about playing it.
Oh yeah, the word's out there. The internet's blown up. Now I've been seeing petitions and stories and people complaining that your character is not available across platforms.
Yeah, so that's kind of a bummer. So
I don't know. Here's hoping Bungie. They haven't specifically said anything though. I know everyone's assuming that you can't do it, but they haven't. Have they actually said no?
I don't know if they've come out and said no yet.
If they have, I've missed it. So here's hoping.
I mean, to me, it would seem like it might be possible just because.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You have to link your account to a Destiny, like a Bungie account. So I would think that your character would live in the Bungie account, but I don't know how they've got that set up. Maybe your character lives local. I don't know. That being said, the one thing that I was curious about, and I don't know if I'm jumping ahead into our news a little bit here, but it's not in our news anyways. Perfect. Bungie more or less said that there's going to be a few goodies for people who come back that are returning players from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. Now, I messaged Bungie asking if that was also going to work for, say, for example, you played Destiny 1 on PS4 or Xbox One or whatever.
And then now you're going to be playing
and now you're going to play on PC. They have not gotten back to me, but I haven't seen anything that says yes, but I also haven't seen anything that says no. Yeah. Right now, obviously, if you played it on the PS4 and now you're going to play it again on the PS4, then you're laughing.
PC is definitely going to be my main console. I'm obviously just going to play through with one character on PS4. It would be nice if it transferred over, but because once the PC version comes out, I doubt I'll be playing much of the PS4 version. Again, I got the PS4. I don't know what the hell. I got the PS4 version. I don't know if it was the E3 pre-order price error. I got it for $49.
Wow.
So, that's a pretty big difference compared to $79. It is physical, which I'd rather have it digital, but $50 versus $90 for digital or physical, I guess I'm just going to go with digital, especially considering it's not going to be my main one.
Yeah.
My main after the PC version comes out.
Oh, fair enough.
And my phone is ringing. Oh, man.
The hell, dude? We're recording a podcast. Come on, man.
I guess that's it for what you've been playing. We can get into some news and stuff. Speaking of PlayStation VR, Sony's dropping the price of the VR. I don't know if they're really dropping the price or it's just changing
they've said
bundle.
This is the new price. They said this is the new permanent price drop on the PSVR.
When I bought the PSVR, there was the two bundles. There's the Move camera game bundle.
Yep,
and then there was the standalone headset bundle. I had everything already, so I just bought the headset bundle, hence why it was like the cheapest way in.
Right.
Now, they're bundling in the camera. So for $400 US, you get the headset and the camera. $4.99 Canadian, you get the headset and the camera. And then the other bundle with the Move controllers is also going to $450 American and $579 Canadian. So
that's awesome, man. That's essentially $100 cheaper than it was before.
Yeah, I guess
because it was $6.99 Canadian when I bought it.
Yeah, with the Oculus and the Vive actually seen some price cuts recently. I think they kind of have no choice, but also, they want to get more of these into more people's hands. And there's actually some games now. Isn't the Oculus 550? Oculus is
Canada?
$550, but that's limited. I think they're moving their stock. I think there's a new Oculus coming. And then the Vive is $799.
Right, but they recently dropped the price on the Vive Canadian as well.
Yeah, that's the Canadian Vive price is $799.
Right, instead of
used to be $1,300. No, I think it was $899, or maybe it was $999. I can't remember.
I thought it was higher than that because
it was much higher.
And then
at launch, it was a lot higher.
Okay,
good, but that was because of the exchange rate as well, because it wasn't available in Canada.
Right.
At launch, you had to get it through the States, and then there was also that exchange, so that's where it got really bad.
Right.
So it's still the most expensive. That's $800. Oculus for $5. If I didn't have a PSVR, I would be snagging that Oculus for $550. To be honest, at this point,
there's still a little part of me that's tempted.
Well, the only thing that stops me is I haven't been playing my PSVR enough, so that's. But I don't know, man. That Super Hot VR is pretty dope.
The idea of being able to play the stuff that's on PC that I'm not able to play with my PSVR. That's where it's tempting for me, where I'm like, oh, then I could have one on the PC, one on the PS4. Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Now, anyway, we got a price drop. PSVR. If you were on the fence, maybe that's enough to push you over the edge.
Heck yeah.
We talked about Destiny. There's a link there's not much to say here, but there's like a 90-minute story explanation of anything and everything to do with the Destiny lore if you were so interested.
It's kind of a cool idea to get new players into.
I started watching it. This guy does lore videos online, and they're really good. They are pretty in-depth, so it's not here's Destiny 1 in 5 minutes, which I'm sure that probably already exists on IGN or something, because they seem to do that all the time. But This is, if you want the full deep dive Destiny story and lore, it's literally like a movie. I think it's 90 minutes.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure he's done lore videos for Bloodborne and Dark Souls as well.
Is there that much lore in the original Destiny?
Yeah, there is. They just shove it all into cards and websites and
cards. Yeah,
it's not in the game proper, but anyway,
it's too bad.
Not much to say about that, except for if you care, check that out. Final Fantasy 15 is getting Assassin's Creed crossover DLC. I did not see this coming. This was kind of out of left field. Basically, they're having a whole event. It's transforming the main city in Final Fantasy 15 that you can get Assassin's Creed outfit. You can actually get even Assassin's Creed attacks and stuff. It's free.
Interesting.
August the 29th through the 31st of January.
Wait, those are two completely different companies.
Yeah.
One is Square Enix and one is Ubisoft. Is this Ubisoft trying to cross? Is this really them trying to stave off the buying?
No, I don't think so. I think this was the devs. The story is the devs met somewhere and hey, we really like your franchise. Hey, we really like your franchise. Hey, can we put your shit in our game? And they're fuck yeah.
Oh, sweet.
The best part of it's free. There'll be a link. There'll be a link in the podcast notes if you want to see a trailer for what's included. It seems pretty sizable.
Well, like I said, party on, Wayne.
It looks really cool. I've been meaning to go back. It's so fucking hard to go back. I've been meaning to go back to Final Fantasy 15, but
you still haven't even finished Persona 5 yet.
No, but I'm on the last dungeon.
Yeah,
I haven't been able to get back
for like 6 months though.
No, since E3. I haven't been able to get back to it since I went to E3. And it's just going to get harder, goddamn, as every day goes back. Like, you come back next week, and it's like, here's
now we're
Destiny.
going to be getting into the fall, and that's when like the big drop of games is going to be happening here.
Now, I don't know if this was a surprise or if this had been mentioned before, because I feel like I didn't know about it. Secret of Mana is getting a remake on PS4 and Vita.
Hell yeah.
Coming out next February 15th, 2018. Secret of Mana is an awesome game on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I got the press release for this like last week in my inbox, and I was very
one of
excited.
The best Super Nintendo games. They've added voice acting. There's a new soundtrack, local multiplayer up to 3 players, which was in the Super Nintendo version, but not many people had that multi-tap for Super Nintendo. I want to say me and my cousin played some Secret of Mana co-op back in the day when we used to rent video games in the summer.
Well, Secret of Mana is a Super Nintendo game, right?
Yeah, Super Nintendo.
Yeah. Isn't Secret of Mana in the Super NES pack, the mini Super NES Classic pack, whatever?
I have no idea. I was trying to find the freaking list because I had it somewhere, but man, trying to search anything on Super Nintendo. Yes, it is on that Super Nintendo.
Right.
So you can play the old school version there. It's really cool. It was a nice surprise.
One of the only games that I was super excited to play in that pack actually was Secret of Mana.
I think I want to say it's on PSP or on PlayStation 3 or some. I feel like you can play the old version on one of the PlayStation somewhere, but that was a nice surprise. It's a great game.
Yeah, that was actually one of the reasons I've never played through the Secret of Mana, and that's one of the reasons I was actually super... Secret of Mana and Mario RPG, those were the two that I actually really wanted to play on the Super Nintendo Classic, which we won't talk about.
Speaking of re-releases, not remaster, Capcom is re-releasing Street Fighter 2 for Super Nintendo. Yep. You heard me right. On Super Nintendo, on a cartridge.
That may or may not light your Super Nintendo on fire.
It's $100?
They're only making 1,500 of them.
And then there's some other special ones. There's a glow-in-the-dark one and a translucent one as well. They're limited number. Hey, if you're a crazy collector and you want a new copy of Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo... that's going to be a thing you can do. I don't know if these are sold out yet. No,
don't use it.
It says I can add it to cart.
Because there's actually a thing that says if you use this in a Super Nintendo, it might light it on fire.
Does it say that, or are you just making that up?
I'm not making that up.
What? That's not serious.
I'm deadly serious.
What? No.
Yeah, I'm serious. Here, hold on a second. I just read an article about apparently there's a thing that says that Capcom will not take no responsibility if you put this in your system and it lights it on fire.
Oh, I think that's a joke. Because the cartridge is also red. That can't be serious.
Like I said,
it's a joke. It's not serious. I think they're just not taking responsibility for people who have old Super Nintendo hardware. I don't think that's a real thing. That's not real. Can't be real. But hey, for $100, you can buy the
Street Fighter 2 Super NES cart being released, but it could catch fire.
Where's that?
The IM 8-bit product page contains the following scary-sounding warning. Use of this reproduction game cartridge on the Super NES gaming hardware may cause the Super NES console to overheat or catch fire. The Super NES hardware is deemed a vintage collectible, so please exercise extreme caution when using the product and make sure there is a fire extinguishment equipment nearby. Use of the product is at the sole risk of the user. The warning goes on to say that IM 8-bit and Capcom are making no representation or warranty, express or implied, that the cartridge is safe to use. The text says IM 8-bit and Capcom have no liability for damage to property or persons arising from the use of this product.
Maybe it's something to do with the life of the Super Nintendos. Maybe they're at that time frame where that potentially working this hard to play this game, they will catch on fire. That's so
they replied and said, we're only selling a cartridge. We can't be responsible for the state of the hardware it is being played on.
Okay. Well, I'm sure it'll be fine for most people, but be aware, have fire insurance if you're going to buy this. Or the smarter thing to do would be to purchase the Super Nintendo Classic, but good luck. You probably all missed out on that already anyway. Because that game is on the Super Nintendo. Well, it's Hyper Street Fighter 2, so it's a different version, but that's kind of funny. Old school cartridge. I'm pretty sure we're going to see more releases like this.
Yeah.
Because, man, the retro nostalgia trip right now is...
at 1,000,000 degrees.
Seriously, it is like anything retro now. It's just like printing money at this point. I guess people are just at that age where, oh, I remember when I was a kid. I want that. I want to get that. Moving on. PUBG. May have heard about this game.
I feel like my podcast co-host keeps talking about something along these lines. I don't know.
Yeah. PUBG has overtaken Dota 2 as not the record highest concurrent, but just current highest concurrent player count.
Right.
They topped, what was it? Where's the number here?
That game sold over 8 million copies now. It's insane.
Yeah, that game's on wildfire. Okay, it's really dumb. There's a story with doesn't show the number. It was like high 800,000 concurrent players. Like that's at a time.
And it was averaging that like through the week or something like that as well.
So it surpassed Dota 2. And I'm pretty sure it's going to surpass Dota 2. Whether lifetime it'll stay at the top, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little bit of a back and forth. Dota 2 apparently has the highest concurrent count on Steam. This is Steam, mind you. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Consoles don't release concurrent numbers like Xbox and PlayStation 4. Like who, maybe some of their games are much higher. Like we don't know. That information isn't publicly available, but on Steam you can just see it. It's just there. It just shows you. Dota 2 has a record of like 1.3 million concurrent players at once.
Wow, that's actually really high.
And that was like during the international and
I wonder how many
kind
of those
stuff.
players were actually just watching.
Well, that's it. You can watch with Dota 2. You can watch the games in game. Mm-hmm. Like you don't have to do a stream on Twitch. You can be in engine watching matches, which I'm sure for the most hardcore is probably even the best way to do it because I think you're in control of the camera. Even at that point, you can do whatever you want.
I think so. Yeah, I haven't done it personally. So.
No, well. I haven't played. I played Dota 2 once. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. That game's... that train is like gone. It's freaking burning up the freaking... I don't even know what my analogy where I was going with that, but man, PUBG's the shit. It's on fire. Those guys are doing well.
Yeah, that game's selling like hotcakes.
Nintendo had a direct last night. Well, it wasn't really, I don't know. It was like an indie showcase. Nindies, as they like to call it. I think they have an event going on for PAX right now. I don't know if it's tonight or if it's every night during PAX. I couldn't seem to find the freaking information, but they showed off a bunch of indie games coming to the Switch. Check out the trailer. It's like 20 minutes. There's tons of games.
Yeah, there's a ton of like neat little indie games.
Super Meat Boy,
exclusive as well.
Yeah, Super Meat Boy Forever, which is essentially a sequel to Meat Boy. Super Meat Boy is an exclusive.
Yep.
They showed the new gameplay of Shovel Knight, the King Knight. Kentucky Road Zero is coming to Switch. A really cool game, Mulaka. Which is, all these games are at PAX, I'm pretty sure. I know I've gotten emails and invited to check out some of these. I'm actually waiting on replies for appointments to see some of these.
Sweet.
Battle Chef Brigade.
Oh, yeah. I want to play that. That looks really cool.
Morphe's Law. Watch a trailer. There was like, Jesus, I don't know how many games they announced. There was tons. Which is, as expected, the Switch is kind of like, basically, it's taken the Vita's role as the indie machine because
I think it helps that it's a little more powerful than the Vita is now. The Vita came out in, 2007? No, it would have been later than that. But
I don't think I'm even packing my Vita to PAX.
You're going to instead bring your Switch?
I'm bringing my Switch, and I'm bringing my 3DS. I don't know why, but I'm definitely bringing my Switch.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that.
I'm actually bringing my dock, too, and an HDMI, because maybe we might have some time to play some Mario Kart in the hotel room. Some downtime.
It's a game I haven't even bought for my Switch yet.
Yeah, well, you get to see it if I bring my shit.
Yeah.
Well, I am bringing my shit. There's no question about it. The coolest thing about this whole reveal, this game is, I don't know how I got lumped in with indies, because it's an indie, but it's not an indie. There's a new No More Heroes.
I saw
Travis
that.
Strikes Again. They ended the presentation with this trailer. I really like the No More Heroes games on Wii, and I think they were both on Wii. No More Heroes 2 and No More Heroes. New No More Heroes game.
Looked like you were jacking off to like recharge your lightsaber, right?
Yes, with the Wii remote. And
right.
It was like a third person
such a weird game.
Combat fighting game. It was an awesome game. The only problem was it was on Wii, so at that time
it looked like garbage.
Yeah, compared to playing games on HD on every other console. It's like, oh, there's this amazing game. It's stuck on the Wii. It did take advantage of the motion controls, as you said.
I just remember that. I feel like you were playing it somewhere. We were hanging out, and I feel like you and somebody else was playing it. And I just remember, you'd like you'd be swinging this stupid Wiimote around, and then all of a sudden it looked like you were jerking off with the Wii. Yeah,
you had to shake it to charge the lightsaber. That game was awesome.
Real dumb.
No, it was awesome. And this was out of this is not exactly an indie title, but man, that was a pretty awesome trailer, and that's pretty exciting news to get a freaking No More Heroes game in HD. I'm pretty sure. I think there's been remakes or re-releases.
They re-released it for the Wii U or something in higher definition.
I don't think it was Wii U, honestly. I think it was a different console.
Or maybe it was PS3 or something.
No More Heroes. Here, let's go to the Wikipedia. The Wikipedia will tell us.
Yes, Wikipedia knows all.
Maybe it'll tell us.
Maybe. If we're lucky.
Yeah. No More Heroes, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
Yeah, there you go. That makes sense.
PS3, Europe, North America. So yeah. So it did come out on PS3, which was is it the second one or is it both games? I don't even know. Either way. I never went back and played it on PS3, but it being on Switch, that makes me pretty excited. The trailer was awesome. Actually, the trailer has a really cool little nod to Hotline Miami. At the start of the trailer, Is
that the same developer?
No, it's a different developer.
That's what I thought.
I just think it's just a nod to another awesome game.
Okay.
A character in the game is sitting on a couch playing Hotline Miami.
Oh,
and
that's
awesome.
It
has that awesome music from Hotline Miami. Like, wait a second, I recognize it. Oh my god, he's playing that game in this trailer. Like, that's freaking awesome. And that's like a huge nod of respect. That's pretty dope.
Huge. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Anyway, that's a nice surprise coming to Switch.
That's cool. Right on.
And I think that's it for news. I've been watching my feed. I haven't seen anything super amazing worth talking about.
Yeah, no, I think we pretty much hit it all.
Is there anything else? I'm just checking my shit real quick. No. Let's move into PSAs, public service announcements. September's games with gold have been announced, as with PlayStation's PSN Plus games. So on Xbox, we've got Forza 5 coming to Xbox One, Oxenfree as well, and then 360, and these are of course backwards compatible on the Xbox One. We've got Hydro Thunder Hurricane and Battlefield 3. There is a link in the trailer with gameplay. I think does this trailer have gameplay to all the titles? Let's see. Fancy text. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this has gameplay for all the titles. So yeah, check out the podcast notes for a link to a trailer if you're not sure what any of those games are. Forza 5, excellent game. Battlefield 3, people are split on that one. I think the multiplayer was pretty popular. The campaign was okay. Yeah. Hydro Thunder, a classic arcade boat racing game. I think it's meh. I don't know about Oxenfree. I don't know anything about it. It looks interesting.
Wait, Oxenfree, isn't that...
It's like an indie, looks like a puzzler adventure game. I have no idea, so I'm just talking out my ass right now.
I feel like... okay, yeah, I'd heard about it, sorry. I was thinking it was a different game.
And being the Sony fanboys as we are, obviously we're going to say the PlayStation Plus lineup is better, but to be honest, it actually is.
If you don't have Forza 5 yet, that's a pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was a launch game, so
it's pretty dope though.
I
played a bunch of that game.
With the exception of Oxenfree and Hydro Thunder, I've had Battlefield 3 and Forza 5, so it's like
same.
There's really nothing there for me. I don't have time.
Me neither.
I don't have time for some.
And I don't really care about trials.
As good as Oxenfree is or Hydro Thunder, I don't have time.
Yeah.
That being said, I also have a few of the games. Well, no, I have the big title, but PlayStation Plus, September, we're getting Infamous Second Son, which I already own. That was a launch game, so I don't know. I guess if you came into the generation late, that's a pretty good score. That's a AAA game.
Yeah, that's pretty huge.
Strike Vector EX, which is kind of funny. That was it was available for free on the PSN. I think it was an error because it was one of the EU, like European.
Right.
PSN games last month. So
okay.
It's on this month in September because I guess maybe enough people snagged it for free. It's 3D space combat game. It looks really cool. Check out the trailer. It looks neat. That's part of this month as well on PS4. Truck Racer, PlayStation 3, Handball 2016, PS3. Like I don't even care about any of the PS3 stuff. Let's be honest. I haven't turned it on in ever.
So the one thing that's super exciting for me and you,
no, you're jumping ahead here, man. There's still more.
Hurry up, man. I'm excited.
We Are Doomed PS Vita crossplay with PS4. Not included in the trailer at all, so I have no idea what that is. Like, man, you should have links to these games so people can see what they are.
Yeah,
or include it. Like, I'll give Xbox props. Their video has gameplay for all the games included.
Yeah, I like the way that they do it. 1, 2, 3. And they also give a little write up about each game. So
they don't even have that here. Yeah, they just have a list. So kudos Xbox fail on PlayStation. Like, seriously. Who wrote this story? James, get your shit together, honestly.
I know.
Like, what is We Are Doomed? I have no idea. It's on the Vita and it's cross-buy. Do I want to download it and waste my bandwidth cap? I don't know. Hatoful Boyfriend, though, is Vita and PS4 cross-buy. Now, this is a weird game. It's like a dating simulator with birds.
Oh.
And I know it has like a weird internet cult love following thing. So, yeah. That's coming as well. And then what you were talking about, the bonus for PlayStation Plus members, Riggs, which is a PSVR game, that's pretty cool.
So they're giving away Riggs Mechanized Combat League as a free bonus game in the US and Canada starting from September 5th through to November 7th. So it's actually a few months. So it's not quite just September. So it'll be September, October, and a little bit of November. So if you've got a PSVR headset and you want to play some multiplayer mechanized online robot stuff,
that's the one I was most excited for.
And let's be honest, I thought that this game was kind of cool when I played it 2 years ago at PAX. But when it came out at $70, I thought, a PSVR multiplayer only game. how's that going to go? Especially for the amount of money they were asking. I didn't feel like it was a great plan. But now, seeing as it's going to be free and everybody with a PSVR can play it, at least in North America, that's super cool. So
that's going to inject some life into the multiplayer of that game, that's for sure.
Totally. Well, seeing as that whole game is multiplayer, that's super awesome.
I feel like you could play against bots, but because it was on the demo disc or demo.
Yeah, maybe. I don't remember.
That's cool.
But yeah, that's super cool. So I'm really excited about that.
So overall, in my opinion, I think both. Well, it depends. Like if you came to the console to Xbox One and PS4 late, those are some pretty fantastic months. If you were like me, you own half that lineup already, so it's a little disappointing. But hey,
yeah,
they're both pretty good. Forza 5, dope game. Freaking Infamous Second Son, dope game. Those are both AAA games.
Oh, huge.
So it's been a while since there's been like an actual AAA. Well, I guess that's a lie. Last month, PlayStation had Just Cause 3. But yeah, they're doing pretty well there. Dane.
Yo.
I think that's it. Unless you have something to add. I gotta finish my packing. I gotta go shower. I gotta go shave. I gotta go do some errands.
We thought we had not that much time, but now we have lots of time.
Yeah.
I went and saw Valerian, man.
Did you not talk? You didn't talk about that last week, did you? No, you weren't here last week.
You did a podcast by yourself last week. I definitely didn't.
Well, the internet has shit all over this movie, and it tanked at the theaters. But
I'm actually really disappointed. I'm really disappointed. My wife and I really liked it. Visually phenomenal. One of the prettiest games. One of the prettiest movies I think I've ever seen. I had a couple issues a little bit with the story, but overall, I really enjoyed it. We watched it in 3D.
What's her name? Kara, the main actress.
Oh, I can't remember her name, actually.
I can't pronounce her name. I know it's Kara. She was in Suicide Squad. She was the witch, the crazy chick.
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't... Going into this, after watching the trailers, I kind of didn't like either of the main characters.
Cara Delevingne? I don't know how you pronounce that.
Something. Yeah.
And then Dean DeHaan.
But honestly, after watching it, they were a lot better than I thought they would be, to be honest.
I hear she was really good.
She was really good.
One positive thing. And then everyone said that the guy, Major Valerian Dane, they said he was just kind of flat and just like they just feel like he was miscast. So the movie, unfortunately,
I don't know. I think he did all right. What bothered it for me was they jump like in one of there's kind of the opening scene, if you will, and then it cuts to them on a ship, and they don't do any transposition about whether like what their story is together, and he's trying to hit on her right away and saying that he loves it. Like that for me was the part of the movie where I felt it was weird, because like as soon as the movie starts, he's like, "Oh yeah, baby, I love you. We should go, you should go out with me or whatever." And she's like, "Ha ha ha, I'm your partner. I'm not like that, blah, 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 blah." And they imply that they've been partners for a long time and that they've been through all this stuff, but you don't see any of that. So
the relationship kind of a little bit not that great.
It's kind of a little bit jarring. You're just like, whoa, what the hell just happened? Like, why are we talking like this and about this? Like, they didn't do any building up. So at least, like, it would have been one thing to kind of mention it and then to see sort of them work together and build up that relationship through the film a little bit more before it got quite to the point where it did right off the bat, which I felt was a little bit weak. But I don't know. Like I said, I think some of the issues with him were more, I think, the writing and the directing than him. Because I actually thought that at the end of the film, I thought like he had done a pretty decent job with what he was given. And I liked him a lot more than I thought I would, because going into it, I really didn't like either of them. So, but no, I mean, it was directed and written and sort of created by the same guy that did The Fifth Element. And it was very...
Is it supposed to be the same world as Fifth Element?
I don't think so. Because this is actually based on a graphic novel series. I don't believe The Fifth Element was, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, like I said, I mean, and everybody that listens to the podcast is going to sit there and go like, dude, but you like everything.
I was just going to say.
And like, that's not entirely wrong, but I think, like,
but you go with watching movies like its own little island. You're not comparing it to anything, and you're going for the experience. Was I entertained?
Yeah, exactly. Was I entertained? Was I expecting this movie to win an Oscar? No. Like, I was.
Is this going to be the next Star Wars? No, you're ignoring that stuff.
Yeah, it's a big budget, like, visual spectacle. There was a couple super cool ideas and really neat concepts that they show and that they do and they play with in that film that were super cool. Like, one of them is that there's this giant mall that is multiple stories deep, that's huge. We're talking massive. And you can get there via actually being there, or you can put on this device and wear these goggles that essentially allow you to see everything that's there, even though you're not there. So it's almost like being in VR. Like, they put on these goggles and they suddenly everything, like, it looks like this giant empty field, like this huge empty field on this planet. And then they put on the goggles and it's like this massive market, like, it's huge. And when they put the goggles on, that's the only way that they can see it. And then they put this like device on their arm that allows them to, you can essentially like purchase virtual items because it's in another dimension. And then they walk back and they put them through a machine that essentially pulls them from that dimension into this one. And then they can actually take their trinkets home. And there's a whole sequence in the movie using this that is fucking cool. Like, one of the coolest things I've seen ever. Like, just the concept and the idea of it is super neat. I won't spoil it for like anybody that hasn't seen it or whatever, but it was really neat. No, I don't know. I honestly, like, it has a very Fifth Element vibe to it. Like, you can definitely tell like this is the same director and stuff. I don't know. I feel like I'm not going to go say like if you like the Fifth Element, you're going to like this film, but I feel like there's fun. There's not quite one of the things that I think the Fifth Element did really well was it had, I'm trying to remember the comedian's name, that he was really solid, like, comic relief. And I thought that was done really well, where it's kind of a campy, kind of a ridiculous world and universe, but he kind of makes light of it, in spite of the fact that, like, Bruce Willis is this, like, stone cold, I'm really hardcore the whole time. But because of that comic relief, it's done really well. And in this, I think maybe, like, the main character and stuff tries to kind of have a little bit more suave. Because the whole idea is that he's this, like, super badass agent, right, that works for the government. And he's supposed to be kind of like a space James Bond almost.
But he looks like a little kid.
But he totally looks like a little kid. But like, don't get me wrong, though, there's a few moments where that kind of works. Like, there's a scene where they show up and they're in these ridiculous clothes and the guys are looking at him going like, is that what you're going to wear on this mission? And they're like, well, yeah, man, we're here to, like, we're supposed to be blah, blah, blah. And like, and he's just like, okay, like, you could, and it works. It really does. No, I don't know. I honestly, if you get a chance, like, if it comes out on Netflix or whatever, go see it. Like, take it for a watch. I really, like, the wife and I both really did enjoy it. I'm actually glad I got to see it in the theater. I think that being as big and ridiculous and as much of a visual spectacle as it is, I think it deserves to be seen on a big screen. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I like a lot of things, and I went into it expecting a solid. To be honest, I didn't really know what to expect when I was going into it because so many people had kind of shat on it. But it did seem to really be up and down. Like, a lot of people seem to be kind of hating on it, but a lot of people seem to be really enjoying it initially. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I liked it.
Yeah.
Like I said, there was a few issues I thought with the story and the writing. And initially I really didn't like either of the main characters, but by the end of it, I actually thought they both did pretty well. So, and she was awesome. Like, honestly, she was great.
That's what I've heard, is that she was the best part.
And I think that the way that it all works, I think that in a way that's almost like the way it was supposed to be written and the way it's been directed, is that in a way he's the main character kind of, but she steals the show, and I almost feel like that's supposed to be the way it's supposed to be. Like, the way, like, thinking about it and thinking about the story and how it all pans out and everything, I think that it really works, and that is awesome. And you know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of the way that it's supposed to be. So, yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. Give it a watch on.
I kind of wanted to see it, but with my theater time being limited, it'll be one that I get on demand. I'll definitely watch it.
Oh, for sure.
When it's on demand.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, like I said, I mean, I didn't expect it to be this incredible. It was, I went in to be entertained, and I was, and I enjoyed it.
Are you not entertained?
So, exactly. I was entertained.
Every time I hear that, you can't not think of Gladiator when you hear someone say that.
I know.
Such a good movie. Goddamn.
So,
it's like one of my favorite movies ever.
I haven't watched it in a long time.
I watched it in 4K the other day.
Oh, nice. Get
Dane,
you all going on 4K. What's up, dude?
I'm going to say we have a show.
All right.
That is an episode 121. You can follow me on Twitter.
With a vengeance.
Yeah, the dynamic duo is back. You can follow me on Twitter at RickF, no K, RICF.
You can always come bug me on Twitter at Dane Cody, at DAYNECODY.
I thought I lost you for a bit there because there was a big pause. You're like, what's my Twitter handle again?
Twitter. What's Twitter? No. You can always email us as well. We have these cool Geekoholics emails now. You can email me at Dane@Geekoholics.com, and you can email Rick at Geekoholics.com.
Wrong.
What?
Rico.
Are you
Geekoholics.com?
Of course, Mr. Rico at Geekoholics.com. So
make sure to like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter. It's Geekoholics everywhere. And of course, like I say every week, please feel free to leave us an iTunes review. We're stuck. The wheels aren't spinning. I haven't seen a new one in a while. So you guys don't love us. I don't ask for much. I just want an iTunes review. And yeah, let's we're going to be on our way to PAX. So next time you hear from us,
come say hi.
Next time you hear from us, we're going to be there or back. So yeah, it's going to be freaking awesome.
Yeah, it is.
All right, we're out.
Later.
Peace.